My name is Jeremy Blackwell, recently divorced and back in my childhood home with my 2 kids and my grandfather, Walter Blackwell. The old house in Clover Trace Hollow had stood for 3 generations, and so had the 2 concrete deer statues, Roy and Dolores, guarding our driveway since 1978. Everything was peaceful until Cynthia Rawlings showed up. Our newly elected HOA president, armed with a clipboard and a bright orange violation notice, stormed up our driveway and slapped it on the mailbox. "Non-compliant decorative fauna," she announced dramatically, pointing at the deer. Grandpa, sipping black coffee from his porch chair, simply said, "Interesting, considering I wrote the law that protects them." Cynthia scoffed. "That's impossible." "Ordinance 12B, subsection 4, he replied calmly. "Signed it myself back in '87. That didn't stop her. She kept sending violation notices. $25 for excessive patina. $100 for aesthetic disruption. Then came a pink cease and desist letter threatening liens if we didn't remove Roy and Dolores. That's when Grandpa went to war. I found him in the basement, surrounded by legal files from his 4-decade career as a zoning attorney. The next time Cynthia came, he handed her a manila folder, highlighted county ordinances with his signature at the bottom. These deer are protected. Your HOA didn't even exist when they were installed. Page 3 also prevents retroactive enforcement of aesthetic rules. But Cynthia wasn't done. She brought in a third-party inspector, a man named Bradley. When he realized who Grandpa was, the Walter Blackwell who wrote the Unified Development Code, his confidence vanished. "These deer," he stammered, "are cultural artifacts protected by the Blackwell framework." "The what now?" I asked. "That's how we still interpret zoning in this county," he whispered. Cynthia was furious. "I'm the HOA president. I have authority, not over county law, and definitely not over your own bylaws, which you've been violating." Word spread. Neighbors showed up at our door with citations. Grandpa reviewed them one by one. Invalid, unenforceable, cited under a repealed law. He had a void stamp and used it liberally. The HOA board called an emergency meeting. Half the neighborhood came. Cynthia tried to speak of community spirit, but Grandpa stood up and read from the original 1986 Civic Charter, which he co-authored. It emphasized personal expression, historical preservation, and freedom from arbitrary HOA enforcement. The room erupted. Cynthia was voted out 47-3. She was fined for misusing documents and had to repay $8,000 in wrongful fines. Her influencer career tanked when a clip of Grandpa quoting the charter went viral. Hashtag Karen versus constitutional lawyer. The following weekend, we held a neighborhood celebration. Roy and Dolores were crowned honorary sentinels of Clover Trace Hollow. Someone even crocheted the matching capes. When the crowd asked Grandpa for a speech, he raised his coffee mug and said, "May all concrete deer live free from regulatory persecution, and may all HOA presidents remember power is temporary, but a well-written ordinance is forever."